Transpired yesterday in Abuja, but a lot is still going to happen today in Abuja, and that's where we're headed now. We've got Kayla Megwa and Ibrahim Adra on standby to bring us some highlights today.
Oh, well,
Kayla,
gentlemen,
go ahead. What's happening?
Yeah. Good morning to you on this Democracy Day. Here in Abuja, it's bright. The sun is just breaking through the clouds right over the Aso Villa and, of course, the Aso Rock. You need to see it in its splendor, as if the rock is saying, I know how significant and important today is. Security, of course, tight. All road leading to the Eagle Square. Security men in their numbers, ensuring no needle passes through without being properly scrutinized. But then here on ground, as Kayla would want to tell you, she's been observing the various colors, various officials doing everything they can to ensure that it is a successful outfit. But then I can tell you, the guests are not here yet, and we have a program of event. So we will bring you abreast with what will be happening today. It's a 2-hour program that promises to be exciting. Kayla.
Yes, of course, it's going to be an amazing event. It's basically going to be parades, so everyone is going to have a wonderful time watching all of the displays. The military is going to take their time to really impress everybody who's going to be here. They're going to be former heads of state here. They're going to be visiting heads of state here as well. There's going to be the cultural troupe is also going to perform today. So it's going to be a very interesting event, and I'm really looking forward to the Democracy Day address to hear what Mr. President is going to say about it. Yesterday, he had mentioned what Democracy Day is supposed to signify for the Nigerian, and he was talking about how it is a celebration of the sacrifices that were made and a remembrance of the people who made those sacrifices. So we're looking forward to hearing that today. I'm bringing to you all of the colorful details of what will be happening here at the Eagle Square right here in Abuja. Brian.
Yes, Kayla, the Democracy Day address, I also saw that to be presented by the president, of course. Now, I'm saying Democracy Day address, and then I remember there used to be an inaugural address.
Yes.
So, is there a change of name? Is it the same thing? What are we going to see when a new president comes in? Will he be delivering a Democracy Day address or an inaugural address?
I think it's going to be a Democracy Day address. I'm not really sure how it's going to. It's the first. Remember, this is the first time that Democracy Day is going to be celebrated on June the 12th. So it's something that I want to hear this speech. I want to hear what Mr. President is going to say today. Is it going to be something that we've heard before? Is it going to be something different? Is it going to be a unifying speech? Is it one of those situations where he's going to talk about things that happened in the past? Is he going to talk about the future? Is he going to remind us? I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm really looking forward to that Democracy Day speech. That's what they're calling it for now. So the Democracy Day speech, when it comes up, I'm going to be all ears to hear exactly what Mr. President has to say about it. But a very important day in Nigeria's history, Ibrahim, and I'm really looking forward to how Nigerians take this. There's going to be a lot of nostalgia out there, which is a big thing for me as well. So I'm looking forward to how everyone is going to feel about today's celebrations, Ibrahim.
You're not alone. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are also waiting for that Democracy Day speech. But then, quickly, if I could bring you up to date with what the program looked like. Of course, there are those long arrivals in order of protocol. The senators, Senate President, newly elected Senate President, the Speaker, House of Assembly, Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Senate President, and all those, they will arrive in that order, with the President bringing the rear and to be received by the Vice President. Now, those parades that you mentioned are going to be quite colorful. It's always an interesting thing to watch. When you see that military precision, that drill. Well, those things are going to be taking place here today. And then there is something they call 3 hearty cheers by the troops.
Oh dear.
I don't know when last you saw that.
I think the last time I saw 3 hearty cheers by the troops, I was a kid. Maybe like an Independence Day celebration or something when I was much younger. But the 3 hearty cheers are going to happen today. I'm looking forward to the former heads of state that are going to be here, because that's something people were asking about during the inauguration. How many former heads of state were around? I want to see who's going to be here. And then the visiting heads of state as well. The president of Rwanda is around.
Some of them were at the dinner last night.
Yes, the president of Ghana is around as well. Prime Minister from Liberia, and I think from Mauritius or something. You know, a lot of those countries. And I'm looking forward to who else is going to be here. And we'll be giving you those details as they happen right here at Eagle Square.
And how I wish it to be possible to go to one of them and tell them to speak to us on their feelings today. It's really a very big diplomatic move, if you ask me, when those people turn out the way they do and they come to play. It signifies a lot. It shows confidence in the country. It shows friendship.
Yeah.
To me, it means a lot, because if perhaps you're not that important on the global scene, you probably won't have people coming. If you don't have that goodwill, if you don't have that friendship, perhaps you won't have as many people turning up for your event.
Absolutely.
In this case, it's good to see how many people will be coming, really, on that level.
I mean, the anti-corruption summit happened, I think it was yesterday as well, and President of Rwanda was talking about Paul Kagame, who we're big fans of, was talking about, you know, the anti-corruption war. And he was saying how corruption, tackling corruption in Nigeria has to be from top to bottom. He said that's the approach to fight corruption. You know, so many views are out there. A lot of African leaders are very interested in what Nigeria is doing. And this Democracy Day celebration is very significant for Nigeria and for Africa as a whole. This is the longest stretch that Nigeria has had, an uninterrupted 20-year stretch in democracy. So to hear what President Buhari is going to say about that, how African leaders feel about that, that would be something to look out for, Ibrahim.
I'd very much love to see a part of the speech where he'll be reaching out to everyone and calling on everybody to come on board towards building Nigeria, and that will be very significant. When we came here on the 29th, it was very visible that some key members of the opposition that you would have thought you would see at a gathering like this, because this is supposed to be a Nigerian event, were missing here. There were no special provisions for anyone in that order. So it would be nice to see if perhaps all the other politicians in the opposing camps will turn up for this event. If they don't, well, that's perhaps probably understandable. But I thought on a great day like this, Democracy Day, a new Democracy Day, June 12th, I thought it would be nice for everyone to stand up and be counted.
Absolutely. I think a Democracy Day celebration goes beyond politics. It goes beyond party lines and issues that they may have had in the past. I think, for me personally, I think Democracy Day is big enough to unite. It's a unifying factor. So I'm really looking forward to all of the activities. They're still arriving. A few people are still getting here, but you know, the guests are not here yet. You can see behind us. But security is tight. I can tell you that. The entire city is on lockdown right now, but we'll be looking out to see those who gain access, those who have access to this particular grounds, when they get here, how they will conduct themselves, what are the things we're going to be hearing, and what are some of the things to look out for here today.
Come on, guys, let's not, I mean, we could go on and on talking, but let's return to the studio and then we'll give you more update when you come back to us next.
Yeah, but before you
have a good time.
Yeah, before you wrap up, could you just tell us, I mean, about these 2 days, May 29 and the 12th of June. I mean, what do you hear? What do your sources tell you, even if it's off the cuff? What are their thought process in terms of, are we going to maintain these 2 dates, or in the future, are we eventually, or do they think that we should eventually just make it 1 day, meaning the 12th of June?
Oh, well, if what we've been hearing, and of course that signature the president appended on that bill, you know, making this the official Democracy Day, it presupposes automatically, I guess, that May 29 has been rested. It's not going to be a public holiday anymore.
It absolutely has been rested. May 29th is not a public holiday, except, of course, in the case of an inauguration. So if in 4 years' time we have an election and an inauguration is happening, inaugurations will still happen on May the 29th. And they would announce then if May the 29th will be a public holiday or not. But for now, without any inauguration, May the 29th has been rested. It's not a public holiday anymore. The public holiday now is June the 12th, where we celebrate Democracy Day every single year. And then on May the 29th, every 4 years, we'd have an inauguration, and they would announce to us whether it is a public holiday or not. Those are the facts that we're getting, at least from Mr. Lai Mohammed. At least that is where things rest as of today.
But wouldn't it be tidier if we can find a way of doing some sort of legislation that will perhaps, you know, move May 29, do that tiny adjustment, just few days, and see if we can just do everything all on the 12th of June, every inauguration. What do you think?
I think so too, but the thing about May the 29th is that, you know, it's also the first time, well, in the last 20 years, that was when President Olusegun Obasanjo was sworn in, and it's a very important situation for Nigerians. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but I do get your point. Why not move everything to June the 12th, you know, but let's see what happens. But for now, May the 29th is rested. It is not a public holiday unless there's an inauguration going on that particular day.
That's right, so you have it there.